Okay, again, I'm Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'm a member of Congress. I represent Florida's 25th Congressional District, South Broward, a little bit of North Broward, the port and the seaport. What we saw, the conditions that we saw inside this internment camp, which it is nothing less than that description, were really appalling. I'll walk you through just a few of the really egregious, disturbing, disgusting conditions. First of all, I want to talk about the establishment of this facility and make it very clear that we were directly told that the state was asked by the Department of Homeland Security to create a facility to detain ICE detainees. The governor decided directly, the governor directed FDEM, the Florida Division of Emergency Management, to put that facility they were requested to create by DHS here. Could have put it anywhere. They decided to put it in the middle of the most brutal conditions in the middle of a swamp in the Everglades. Let's be clear, throughout this entire tour, it was repeated over and over that the state is working hand in glove with ICE. This facility was inspected by ICE. They review their detention standards. They are using cages. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures that you've seen don't do it justice. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage. That is the only thing inside those cages are their bunk beds, and there are 3 tiny toilets that are toilet units that have a sink attached to it. So they essentially drink, they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth where they poop in the same unit. They bragged that they went above standards, supposedly, and gave them a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length inside the 32 detainee cage, a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length of the 3 toilets in a row. The showers provide no privacy at all. There are no curtains on it. It's a big open shower unit. There are, small walls in each shower, but we're talking about all 900 men who are held in this facility. It is built currently for 1,000, and they have no privacy at all when they're showering. For meals, when we walked through the quote-unquote meal prep area, the kitchen area, for lack of a better term, they had the portions that were available for detainees, and they had the portions that were available for employees being prepared at the same time. The portions available for employees, large pieces of roast chicken, large sausages, and the detainees' lunches were a small, gray turkey and cheese sandwich, an apple, and chips, and that's it. We're talking about fully grown men being fed very small portions. When many asked, about the nutrition standards, they say that they are utilizing state prison standards that have been approved by ICE. But when I went to Chrome on an unannounced visit, and I spent 3.5 hours walking through Chrome, went to every nook and cranny of Chrome, went in the kitchen, saw the meals being prepared. The meals being prepared for Chrome detainees were like the size, the portion and nutrition level, roast chicken, rice, beans, the size and portion levels and nutrition level that the employees get here. And they are I don't see how a large grown man at that, and there are many large grown men in this facility, I don't see how that could possibly sustain them nutritionally or not make them hungry. And when you have hungry people, obviously their mood changes. I brought a thermostat in with me, a manual thermostat. In the medical intake area, it was 85 degrees. This is inside the so-called air-conditioned tent. in the area. They only let us go up to the entranceway of where they were housing the detainees. They would not let us even a step past the threshold. It was 83 degrees. That was without being all the way in with all of the bodies that were living inside that. The last thing I want to mention is environmentally. They have dug out reclaimed environmental areas and dumped fill on top of them. They say that that means that they have not put fill anywhere that wasn't, quote, already developed, but these are, since the 1970s, reclaimed environmental areas, and we have obviously Everglades restoration funding coming through here. We could not meet with any detainees. They gave us no specific reason or authority why we couldn't. They refused us access and wouldn't even let us go into the dormitory where they were being encaged. So this is an appalling, outrageous environment to detain anyone. And lastly, they say that there are only people who are in the final stages of deportation here. We have doubts about that. We've heard that there are detainees here who are not criminals, but we're going to need to ask a lot of follow-up questions. So thank you so much. I'll turn it over to Congressman Soto.
What we saw in our inspection today was a political stunt. Dangerous and wasteful. Evidence of flooding, floors that are only about 8 inches above the ground, temperatures that are hot, and you see the isolation here. Also wasteful. It probably cost double the amount to put this facility here versus right by Chrome. Which begs the question, why are they spending all this money for this? The director answered that he was not given a single reason why they chose this location. Not by the governor, not by the... And water has to be trucked into this facility. No running pipes. It makes no sense that this is here. And no ICE detainees have even been deported yet from this facility. We're in day 10. They have to be deported within 14 days. And so one can't help but understand and conclude that this is a total, cruel political stunt meant to have a spectacle of political theater, and it's wasting taxpayer dollars and putting our ICE agents, our troops, and ICE detainees in jeopardy. En español, esta es una chiste cruel, una situación muy peligrosa aquí en esta cárcel. Hay inundación, es mucho calor, y ellos están usando dinero en una manera terrible. Ellos pueden tener una facilidad menos gastos en el próximo área de Chrome aquí. No hay agua, quien puede estar ahí necesita transportar esta agua y no hay deportaciones ya. La única razón por esta facilidad es para tener una chiste cruel por la comunidad hispana. And next we'll hear from Maxwell Alejandro Frost, my colleague from